So I did think Tragedy Girls was quite good. I think it could definitely be an iconic cult movie. Reminded me a lot of Spring Breakers, and I mean that as a compliment. I think that's a very underrated movie, and not just because they were wearing neon masks at some point. Lots of things reminded me of Spring Breakers, and also Heathers. It's slightly different. In Heathers, they were kind of misfits, lashing back at this toxic, superficial culture. In this case, the protagonists are very much part of this toxic, superficial culture, so it's slightly different, but again, a similar vibe. So the premise, and it's not a spoiler because you find out right off the bat what the premise is, it's these two high school girls that start becoming serial killers, really just to get attention to their crime blog. And they have a blog covering crime. It's not getting a lot of traffic, and they think, well, if we commit these murders, we'll have inside information and we'll be able to get even more traffic because we'll be the only one with this inside information. Now, it does two things really well. The first is it really nails high school, and it nails the social media aspect, the passive aggressive, perky head cheerleader, and the ex-boyfriend who's kind of older and on the motorbike. That's Josh Hutcherson in a really funny cameo. He was PETA in Hunger Games. So just like those classic teen movies, Mean Girls, Clueless, that seem like they just get high school, I think this movie does as well. And I also really like the relationship between the leads that are killing these people. It really captures that sweet but toxic best friendship where they're so possessive of each other and jealous of the guys that they're into. And you can see that it's toxic and dysfunctional and they kind of feed each other's worst impulses, but nonetheless, it's sweet and relatable. And the actresses, Brianna Hildebrand, she was in Deadpool. I liked all the characters from Deadpool, but she was one of my favorites. And then Alexandra Shipp, she was in that horrible new X-Men that came out, but she was quite good in it. In this movie, they do this thing where they're such unlikable characters. They're immature, they're narcissistic, they're murderers. They couldn't be less likable characters, but nonetheless, they're completely watchable and compelling. And the fact that the actresses are able to pull that off, making them compelling without the script doing anything to make them likable, is something. Now, the second thing the movie does well is we get some great gore. Now, if you're a gore purist and you really care about the color of blood and that kind of realism, you might not like it. But if you just like zany, off-the-wall gore, you're going to like it. There's a scene in the gym, a great, almost Final Destination-like death with a Smith bar. There's a scene in the wood shop. I'll let you fill in the blanks there. We get machetes to the head, machetes to the chest, lots of gore that you're going to like. There's some really fun blood splatters. One time when they're wearing white masks, the blood just goes all over the white mask, creates a very cool visual. And then also, there's some great gore when they're getting rid of the dead bodies, doing this Breaking Bad thing. They actually reference Breaking Bad. Just some great gore there with them getting rid of the bodies. So again, great gore. Now, the type of humor, a lot of it is this kind of shock. Oh, I can't believe this is happening. It's so outrageous, the premise and what's going on. But it is well executed. And Craig Robinson is in this, playing Big Al. Not only is he hilarious, but I think he shows some real horror movie chops where his size as a big guy gets utilized to kind of terrifying effect in this. And it makes me wish he was in more horror movies where you actually saw this darker, aggressive side to him. And Dennis Quaid's son is in this. So that's a thing. So I will highly recommend this movie with one strong caveat. If you're the kind of person that cares about what kind of a message the movie's putting out, and you believe that movies have an impact on people in an either positive or negative way, you're probably going to be really bothered by this movie because the message is toxic. It totally glorifies school shootings, sociopathy, murder, makes light of it, if not outright encourages it. I don't think there's a way to really spin this and say, no, it's, and in some sense I do like that about the movie because there is a point at the movie where you think it's going to be this kind of uplifting female empowerment, friends or whatever the bros before hoes equivalent for women, chicks before dicks, I don't know, message, because it seems like, oh, they're mostly killing guys and, who cares, right? But then at the end they do something so heinous and so reprehensible that is very hard for you to really root for them at all and say what they're doing is in any way justified or is in any way some kind of message about female empowerment. It's really just they're toxic and awful, and it's a movie that largely seems to glorify and excuse and say their behavior is in some sense, again, just either a spectacle or something to outright promote. So anyways, that kind of rambled, but yeah, I think if you care about messages and like positive messaging in movie, this is terrible. If you just want a good time and that's what you go into your movies for entertainment, I think you'll probably like it. And I think it's Sisters Before Misters, I just thought of it. If you like my review, please subscribe to my channel at the end of the video. You can also watch my horror movie playlist or my indie movie playlist. I'm building both of those up, so check those out if you'd like. And also comment. Small channel, just starting out, I will respond.